Welcome to Umoja. This video will demonstrate how to request a rental subsidy. This procedure is used by the staff member to submit a request for rental subsidy. Prior to submitting the rental subsidy application, you need to ensure your duty station address is updated with the details of the address on the lease. Please refer to the video on how to add or update your addresses before you start the process of submitting a rental subsidy application. You will need original signed lease agreement and subsequent lease extensions, copy of first month's rent receipt, contract or agreement with a broker including real estate broker's license number and fee if applicable, original receipt for payment of broker's fee if applicable, and the electric bill if the electricity is not included in the rent. If a rental subsidy is not automatically approved through ESS because the applicant has submitted an application for force majeure, sharing with someone other than spouse or combined rent, the HR partner is responsible for the following actions. The HR partner reviews the policy and guidelines to verify staff members' eligibility to rental subsidy. The HR partner reviews the staff member's submitted application and documentation. The HR partner also approves or rejects the application. If approved, the disbursement will be made. In this video, a professional-level staff member submits for the first time an application for rental subsidy. They pay a broker's fee, and the rent does not include the cost of electricity. To begin, click on the Employee Self-Service tab. Click on the Entitlements link. Click on the Check Entitlement Eligibility link. Click on the Apply Online link. Click on New Request. Select or enter the valid from date using the day, month, year format. The valid from date is the first day of the lease agreement or the first day following the end of the period of payment of the daily subsistence allowance element of the assignment grant, whichever is later. Select or enter the valid to date using the day, month, year format. The valid to date is the date the lease expires. Select the reason for your application from the list of options. In this case, select First Submission. First submission is selected when this is the first time an application is being submitted. This option is selected in this scenario. Resubmission is selected if the application is resubmitted because additional information or attachments have been added to the application. Change in dwelling is selected if your residence address has changed. Change in family size is selected if the size of your family has changed. Change in housing assistance is selected if you have started to receive housing assistance. Change in rent, which is the same as dwelling, is selected if there is any change, increase or decrease in the amount of rent you are paying. This option may be used when you are given a rebate in rent or the regular rent you pay changes for any reason. Select the dwelling type from the list of options as follows. Lease commercially. Select when you're renting from a commercially owned building. This option is selected in this scenario. Sublet. Select if you're renting from the tenant and not the building owner. Low-cost rent from UN. Select if you pay rent to the UN at a substantially lower rate than the average rent for the duty station. Low-cost rent for a government institution. Select if you pay rent to a government or a related institution at a substantially lower than the average rent for the duty station. Provided free by the UN. Select if you receive free residence from the UN. Provided free from government or institution. Select if you receive free residence from a government or a related institution. The schema displayed in the reimbursement application type field is pre-selected and based on your duty station. This will be used to calculate the conditions of the staff member's rental subsidy. Select force majeure if there is a change in dwelling. Current duty station. This is pre-populated with the location of the duty station. Arrival date at duty station. This is pre-populated with the date you arrived at the duty station. Number of dependents. This is pre-populated with the number of dependents you had at the time of the application. Number of dependents living away. If any dependents are not living with you at the duty station, including if they're studying away from the duty station, enter the number of dependents who are living away in this field. Select or enter the date the lease starts. Select or enter the expiration date of the lease. Enter the amount of rent you are paying and the type of currency. In this scenario, the staff member and the spouse are living together, so the total amount of rent is entered. If the residence is shared with anyone other than the staff member's spouse, you must enter only your share of the rent and not the total rent. If you are eligible for rental subsidy for multiple accommodations, you must enter the combined rent of both locations. It's important to note that the total amount of rent included has to be strictly for net rent. If the lease includes other services, such as parking, use of gym, or other building facilities outside the apartment, cleaning, security services, you must deduct these amounts and include only the charges for rent. If this is the first time you are paying a broker's fee at this duty station, enter the amount paid to the broker and the type of currency. Otherwise, skip to step 20. Broker fees are payable only once for each period of service at the duty station that entitles you to a new rental subsidy. For example, if you have claimed the broker's fee once and have not been away from the duty station for at least 6 months and changed accommodations, you cannot claim a broker's fee again for the new accommodations or any other accommodations that follow at the same duty station. Select or enter the date you paid the broker's fee. If applicable, select any of the following options. Select if electricity costs included in rent. Select if residence shared with anyone other than spouse. Select if rent amount above is combined for multiple accommodations. Click on Duty Station Address to view the address. Verify that the duty station address corresponds to the lease. If not, then you will need to update the duty station address before submitting your request for rental subsidy. Refer to the quick guide on how to update addresses. Click on Close to return to the rental subsidy application. Enter the first and last name of the landlord. Enter the house number only where the landlord resides as it appears on the lease. If applicable, enter the landlord's apartment number. Enter the name or number of the street where the landlord resides. Enter the name of the city or province where the landlord resides. Select or enter the name of the country where the landlord resides. If applicable, enter the email address of the landlord. Additional information can be entered in the remarks field, such as, in the event you are receiving some type of housing assistance other than through the UN, you must indicate the amount of money received and the source. You may also use this field to add any remarks you may want to have on record on this application. Click on the Upload button if you want to attach any of the following documents: original signed lease agreement and subsequent lease extensions, copy of first month's rent receipt, contract or agreement with the broker, including real estate broker's license number and fee, original receipt for payment of broker's fee, electric bill. Remember that even if you attach the documentation, the original documentation must be kept for 5 years and you'll be required to present it to the HR partner upon request. Failure to submit this documentation when required may result in recoveries and possibly disciplinary actions. Click on the Browse button. The Choose File to Upload window will open. Select the document. You should only upload PDF files. Click on Open. Click on OK to upload the document. The document has been attached. Repeat the steps for each required document. Click on the Terms and Conditions link. Read the terms and conditions. Once you have read the terms and conditions, click on the Close button to return to the rental subsidy application. Click on the checkbox to acknowledge and accept the terms and conditions. By clicking here, you are acknowledging your responsibility to retain and produce all documentation within 5 years of the date of the application. Click on the Submit button. A message will appear indicating the submission was successful. In cases of force majeure, shared rent or combined rent, the request is routed to the HR partner for approval. These types of requests will appear on the request in process until they've been approved by the HR partner. All other cases will be self-certified and approved automatically, so they will not appear on the request in process. Click on the Employee Self-Service tab to return to the Employee Self-Services menu. You have now completed this Emoja Employee Self-Service video.